Alrighty, good afternoon. Today is Wednesday, May 20th, year 2014. Here is our top stories today on our local news. And looks like we got some breaking news out of White Rock Lake here today, Wednesday. So here we go. Temperature right now outside in Dallas, 82 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Hey, how about that? Okay, here we go. So here we go with the first top story here today on today's news, here live on YouTube.com. Here we go in just a moment here. We'll say the age of the victim. And we'll keep you in a moment here. Let's hold on just a second, please. Okay, here we go. Dallas, Texas. The family of a man who jumped off a bridge into White Rock Lake never refaced. Believe the body pulled from the lake Wednesday is him. Jane Shodet told News 8 she is the grandmother of 21-year-old Jeremy Dotley. Witnesses told police Tuesday that two men jumped from a pedestrian bridge that crossed the water just out of Mockingbird Lane, but only one of them made it back to shore. Shoet says she has no idea why her grandson and another identified male jumped off a pedestrian bridge. She says her grandson was not a good swimmer and believes that he was probably goofing around. On Tuesday, rescuers spent close to 5 hours searching for Dotley, and they resumed their search Wednesday around 8 a.m. A body was recovered just before noon. Dallas police say they are waiting on the medical examiner to confirm that it's Dotley. Firefighters said the water where the man jumped is about 8 feet deep. So we know the age of the victim here, 21-year-old Jeremy Dotley. I don't know why two identified males would jump up a bridge, a pedestrian bridge here in Dallas. It's kind of confusing. I'm really not so sure what is going to happen here. Unfortunately, we'll keep you updated on that story here. All right, let's go to our next top story here live on YouTube.com. Presented by Carry the Load, May 25th through 26th. Help honor our American heroes this Memorial Day. For more, sign up at carrytheload.com. So, here we go with our next top story here, and we'll start in Kaufman County here. Of course, the case of the two victims that got killed a couple of years ago here in North Texas. Here today, we'll just wait for it in just a second here. Time is 1:30. Temperatures are around Dallas, 82 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. It's beautiful out there in Dallas, don't get me wrong, very beautiful out there in Dallas. Here we go. Kaufman County. A judge has delayed the start of jury selection in the capital murder trial for a former justice of the peace accused in last year's killings of the Kaufman County District Attorney and his wife and a top prosecutor. Dallas County District Judge Mike Snipes agreed to delay court proceedings Wednesday as the defense attorney for Eric Williams filed a motion seeking more time to prepare their case. Jury selection is now selected to begin on September 22nd. It had been scheduled to start June 3rd. The trial, originally scheduled for October, has been delayed about 6 weeks to December 1st. Williams and his wife, Kim, have been accused in the slaying of Mark Hesse, 57 years old, on January 31st, 2013. He was gunned down by a masked man as he walked to downtown Kaufman Courthouse. District Attorney Mike Milliner, 63 years old, and his wife, Cynthia, 65 years old, were killed in their foreign home over Easter weekend of that year. During the hearing, defense attorney Matthew Seymour said that they needed more time because of their extraordinary amount of evidence that has been assembled in the case, and also cited the fact that they continue to receive discovery from the state. We just keep getting more and more material, Seymour said. He asked that the jury selection start no earlier than 2015. In making the decision, Snipes said he had to wait Williams' right to a fair trial against the right of the victims, their families, and the community to have closure. He also said Williams' right to a speedy trial was a factor. The prosecution team did not oppose their motion. In fact, Prosecutor Bill Wertsky acknowledged the extraordinary amount of evidence that technological difficulties had them down and turned some of it over. It also was noted during the hearing that Tarrant County District Attorney's Office had flown a prosecutor to help with their efforts. Snipes also questioned the defense team about whether they really needed more time to indict, and he believed he had already been more than amenable to the request. Prosecutors are seeking the death penalty for Eric Williams. Cynthia McLeod's adult children were in court for the proceedings. They were not surprised by the judge's decision to delay. And I quote, "Have been totally okay with them taking a little more time and getting it right the first time," said Nathan Foreman. Her son was a Dallas police officer. Eric Williams was also in court. Last month, it was received that the state police recovered a weapon from Lake Taquani. The forensic testing shows was used to assassinate Hassie. The gun, as well as a second gun and a black mask, were recovered March 5th as divers with the Texas Department of Public Safety searched along the Highway 276 2-mile bridge area in Hunt County. According to the search warrant, an affidavit obtained by News 8, the lake is located about 40 miles northeast of Kaufman. The second gun has been directly linked through purchase records to Williams' wife, Kim. The record states, authorities believe that the couple began plotting their murders after McLeod and Hassie prosecuted Williams in a theft and burglary case that resulted in his removal as a justice of the peace in 2012. Williams was also stripped of this law license. A judge sentenced him to probation in that case. That case has been removed to Rockwell County. Snipes proceeded over the case after the Kaufman County judge rescued himself. Eric Williams is being held in Kaufman County on $20 million bail. So obviously, at this point, it very much surprises me that what was really going on here. I am surprised that this judge from Dallas, Texas, had to ask for a delay of Eric Williams and his wife Kim. Now, these two people do not deserve a delay. What Eric Williams needs here today, North Texas, is the death penalty. And that's what he should receive. For murdering two innocent people who are just employees in downtown Kaufman. Oh, I'm very much appalled with it. Time is 1:36. We go with our next top story here live on YouTube.com. Now, this one is kind of an odd an odd one here. So here we go with the next one here, mother. And every time I hear the words mother, I'm wondering what really happened there. It's very much surprises me also on this one. Here we go. Dallas, Texas. Police have arrested a woman for leaving her 4 children alone in a running car while she went inside a store. Latasha Ellis, 33 years old, has been charged with 4 counts of child abandonment with the intent to return. Just before 5 p.m. on May 19th, an off-duty officer working near 7401 Samuel Boulevard was alerted to a 2001 GMC Yukon that was running in the parking lot with children inside. According to arrest affidavit, the officer spoke to the oldest child, a 7-year-old, who told him that their mother had been inside the store for about 10 minutes. The other children in the car were ages 5, 2, and 5 months old. Police arrested Ellis and called for Child Protective Services. The children's grandmother currently has custody of them. The affidavit states that police arrested Ellis because they believe she put her children's life in danger. The location is a high-crime area where carjackings and robberies have occurred, and the parking of the affidavit said. Now, what kind of mother who's 33 years old named Latasha Ellis leaves her 4 children in a running vehicle, people? This is very much surprising and very much a dumb thing to do. You know, these 4 children could have been kidnapped at gunpoint by a maniac in Samuel Boulevard in Pleasant Grove. Now, parents hardly think, but this one here was not thinking. What was she trying to do? You don't take that long at a store, about 10 minutes to find what you need. You very much, if she wanted to go inside the store, what she shouldn't have done as a mother was take your 4 kids with you inside the store and lock your vehicle, and none of this mess would have happened. But unfortunately, it happened. This is surprising. It really is. I just don't get it why a 33-year-old mother will leave her children. Parents, remember, if you have younger children who are ages 7, 5, 2, and 5 months old, please take them with you to the store inside. Do not leave them in a hot vehicle with the windows closed because they will die of dehydration because they have a large heat stroke. Now it's 1:39. Now this one very much surprises me. Again, mothers. Again, this is not the story of mothers. This one sounds like this one here in the picture. She thinks it's funny. I don't see the fun about that, mothers. I really don't. So here we go. Humboldt County, Texas. A mother who was so drunk as she walked with her 1-month-old baby that she caused the infant to fall out of a stroller near a busy street, pleaded guilty Monday, according to Humboldt police. Sandra Gorfin, 29 years old, pleaded guilty to endangering a child, was sentenced to 180 days in jail. Excuse me for just a second. Okay, here we go. A concerned citizen called authorities on April 22nd, 2014 to report that the mother, who appeared to be intoxicated, was pushing a stroller in a 1200 block of South Houston Avenue about 5 feet away from a busy roadway. The witness said the mother had fallen over, causing the baby to fall out of the stroller. When officers arrived, they determined Gorfman was intoxicated, and they had the baby checked out by EMS at the scene. Her baby was released to Children's Protective Service. Now, for this mother named Sandra Gortman, 29 years old, and this picture she thinks is really funny to come out of a local establishment drunk and everything about her 1-month-old baby. Okay, this is very dumb. What kind of mother does this to her own child? Now we know for the fact that a mother does not take her baby child to a local bar. What she could have done, if she wanted to drink so bad and get intoxicated, she should have gotten drunk at home and not in a public place. But she thought it was funny. I don't see nothing funny about this, mothers. I really don't. It surprises me that this mother who did this to her own child was not thinking when her conscience, as we say, was not helping her. What kind of mother does this? You know, I wonder for all the mothers out there who really care about their kids. It surprises me that these other mothers, they really don't. The first mother leaves her 4 kids inside of a vehicle here in Dallas. The second mother in Houston, in Humboldt County, Texas, goes to the local establishment to get drunk and drops her baby off a stroller to fall out. Now, what was she trying to do? Kill herself and her child? This is very crazy. I don't understand what these mothers think in North Texas. I really don't. This mother here, who's 29 years old, should care more about alcohol than her 1-month-old child. 1-month-old child. 1-month-old baby, excuse me. This is surprising. To all the mothers out there, if you have a 1-month-old baby, and let's say you want to get drunk at home. Do not take your baby outside to a local center, because what's going to happen is you're going to get caught by police, and you're going to get your child taken away, mothers. This is very surprising to me that every time I hear the word mother does something dumb. 10-143. Here we go with our next top story here. Now this one here surprises me also. This is another word, mother. Also. I'll tell you where this happened here in just a moment. Every time I hear the word mother, it says something surprises me. This one's an African American mother. I'll tell you about what she did here in just a moment. Because this is very odd. Mothers just don't think, obviously, North Texas. They seriously don't. Here we go. Dallas, Texas. Police arrested a 26-year-old woman who say they routinely beat a 2-year-old son. The child arrived at Children's Medical Center on April 24th with a broken leg. But police found more injuries and said the abuse was over potty training. According to Coropal, had a leaf femur fracture, shoulder fracture, injury to his wrist and scars to his arms, face, and torso. Doctors at Children's told police this pattern of repeated traumatic is indicative of child physical abuse. Police arrested his mother, Marilyn Lockhart, for injury to a child. She was released on $25,000 bond. Sadly, a large number of our cases involve children who are younger than 2 years of age, said Child Protective Service spokeswoman Marissa Gon. She said that's because of potty training. The toddler defected in his and began smearing his feces on this face and eventually ate it. This made the suspect irritate, causing him to beat the child on his leg with a belt. Potty training is one of the leading cases of child abuse. 2 years ago, a Dallas mother was sent to prison for gluing her daughter's hands to a wall and beating the child because of potty training problems. It's a very stressful time, and obviously, I think there are a lot of parents that don't have the resources to manage it, Gonzalez said. A lot of frustration involved, and sometimes they blame the child. Police say in the most recent case, Lockhart and relatives internally told investigators the child was injured by falling off a slide, and later he fell down the stairs. Unmaternally, the mother allegedly confused, saying she feels that the child and his twin sister are an embarrassment and their behavior is out of control. She also told police that children sometimes eat out of the trash and she can't control them. The little boy and his sister have been removed from the home and are now in foster care. You know, mothers out there in North Texas, to all the mothers out there in North Texas, if you're listening to me right now live on YouTube.com, and this goes to every mother out there in North Texas, okay? If your child has problems with potty training, and if that child is 2 years old, do not attempt to injure them with a broken leg, or make a dumb excuse saying, "Oh, my child fell down the stairs. Oh no, my child fell out the car. Oh no, my child fell on the pavement street." No, do not lie. This other mother here, I don't know what she was thinking about gluing her daughter with her 2 hands with glue, and then beating her with the belt, and then beating her with the shoe, because of potty training problems. Mothers, train your children to potty train. Be patient with your 2-year-old children. Do not lay your hands on them. They're just innocent kids. They don't know what they're doing. They don't. And obviously, this mother who's 26 years old, Marianne Lockhart, I don't know what the heck she was thinking. It very much surprised me that some of these mothers, they don't know what they're doing. Now, is it so hard for you to train your child to potty train? If you have daughters who are 2 years old, do not go and beat them up. That is not how you will solve the problem. Be patient with your 2-year-old child, mothers. Do not beat them up physically. Do not abuse them physically. Violence is not the answer, people. Violence is not the answer. What this mother shouldn't have done is training her son and her daughter to potty train, but not beat him up. Not beat him up with the belt underneath his legs and torso bruise. That is not the way things, that's not how you love your child. If you care about your child, mothers, you would not be doing this. That's what all the mothers end up in where, folks? In jailhouse. That's where they end up for doing dumb stuff. They're not supposed to be doing that. Now, what kind of mother does this to her own child? Really? What kind of mother does this to her own child by beating them up with a belt and bruising his torso? That tells me that mother doesn't care about her child. That tells me that this mother must have been on something. Because I remember when I was at that age, when I was 2 years old, my parents never beat me up or abused me because of potty training. I had problems potty training, of course, when I was 2 years old. I will never forget that. But my parents were patient with me. How come these other parents here, these mothers here, are not patient with their 2-year-old child? This is something, North Texas, that has happened in decades here in North Texas. That surprises me. The first mother, okay, leaves her 4 kids in a running car. The next mother makes her baby fall off her 1-month baby fall off a stroller in Humboldt County, Texas, because of getting intoxicated at a local bar. And then this mother beats up her son, 2-year-old son, because of potty training problems? Wow, this is ridiculous here, man. If a mother cares about her child, please listen to me, mothers. I'm not trying to tell you how to love your children. I'm not trying to tell you how to run things with your children. But if you have 2-year-old kids, the main thing to resolve this potty training problem is not physically abuse them. By means, do not beat them up. Don't beat them up. Do not lay your hands on your own 2-year-old children, mothers. Not children who are 2 years old. Especially little girls who are 2 years old also. If you feel like your mother or parents trying to beat you up because of potty training, you know what to do, kids. Call 911 right away. And you let them know that mama beat you up with the belt or daddy beat you up with the shoe because of potty training problems. Now, when I was 2 years old in North Texas, I had problem also potty training, and I was 2 years old. I'll never forget that. But my parents were patient with me, and I had problems at doing potty training when I was 2 years old. I'll never forget that. Even though I'm not supposed to be discussing here with you, but it's the truth. Once you're to the age of 2 years old, you know what you're doing with yourself. You know how to do your own business at the same time. But potty training, it's easy, folks. It's easy. All you got to do is show them how to sit on the toilet. Simple as that. Simple as that. Simple as that. Because this is very much ridiculous. And it's very dumb thing to do. See, I've done actually in period. Second of all. See, what surprised me, folks, this mother, 26-year-old Marilyn Lockhart. My advice to all the mothers out there, to every single mother out there, if you have a 1 month baby, you feel like you need to get your happy hour on, get happy hour at home. Do not take your 1 month baby to a local establishment and leave them there inside the vehicle. Don't do that. Because that's a dumb thing to do. That's why every time you hear mothers get arrested. Mamas get arrested for doing dumb things, folks. Mothers, grow up. You're grown-ups. Let's act mature. Let's not act like little kindergartners here, folks. Let's not do that. That's crazy. Truly is. Truly is. We will take a quick break here, and coming up next, live here on YouTube.com, I will continue explaining to you what it needs to happen tonight in Game 2 between San Antonio Spurs and Oklahoma City Thunder. I would say that much more when I come back live here on YouTube.com.
Ronnie, folks who save hundreds of dollars by switching to Geico sooner or happy. How happy are they, Jimmy? I'd say happier than bodybuilder directing traffic. He doesn't look happy. Get happy. Get Geico. 15 minutes could save you 50% or more on car insurance. who save hundreds of dollars by switching to Geico sure are happy. How happy are they, Jimmy? Happier than Christopher Columbus with speedboat. That's happy. Get happy. Get Geico. 15 minutes could save you 50% more.
So, we all set?
I've got two tickets to paradise. Not get back from me tonight. It's next month, actually. Paradise.
4, remember?
You know, Ronnie, folks who save hundreds of dollars by switching to Geico sure are happy. And how happy are they, Jimmy? Happier than any money traveling. Get happy. Get Geico. 15 minutes could save you 50% or more. Oh, there you go. Or stand up to it. There you go. I know. You know, Ronnie, folks who save hundreds of dollars switching to Geico sure are happy. How happy are they, Jimmy? Happier than a witch in a broom factory. Get happy. Get Geico. 15 minutes could save you 50% or more. Folks who save hundreds of dollars switching to Geico sure are happy. I'd say happier than a slinky on an escalator. Get happy. Get Geico. Lippy's back. Again. The bears? We can see you, Carl. We can totally see you. Come on, you're better than this. All that prowling around. Yeah, you're the king of the jungle. Have you thought about going vegan, Carl? You know, folks who save hundreds of dollars by switching to Geico sure are happy. How happy are they, Jimmy? Happier than an antelope with night vision goggles. Nice. Get happy. Get Geico. 15 minutes could save you 50%.
Alright, tonight it's 2 o'clock. Go back here live on YouTube.com. Let's give you some updates on Major League Baseball. Middle of the 7th inning, Tigers and Tribes tied 7-7. Middle of the 3rd, Rangers lead the Mariners 3-0. Still scoreless, Yankees and Cubs on Comcast Sports Chicago. Okay, so here we go with the next sports story here. Unfortunately, we're gonna go right here to, let's see where we'll start at here in just a moment. Alright, let's see here. Alright, let's see. We'll start right here in the NBA. And then after that, we'll continue on forward. How about that? Later on tonight, Game 2 live from San Antonio, Texas. Oklahoma City Thunder at the San Antonio Spurs tonight, 8 o'clock on TNT Network. Just a moment here. Hold on just a second here. Okay. Sorry for that, folks. It was like I had some problems there. Okay. So now we're learning more about Sterling. Is that correct? Okay. So here we go again with Donald Sterling. I know a lot of us are probably, let's say, not happy with it. I know I'm not. Once again, we'll start here in just a moment here. Just excuse me for just a second here. As soon as we get our proper problem solved here, we'll figure out the rest. Excuse me for just a second. Okay. So here we go. After conducting a formal review, the NBA has alleged that Los Angeles Clippers owner Donald Sterling and his management team attempted to mislead the league during its investigation of racist remarks that he made on a recording published by TMZ.com. According to a report obtained by the Los Angeles Times on Tuesday, Sterling's actions were one of several excuse me, several were one of the several allegations that the NBA made against the band owner as well as Clippers management in the 30-page report as obtained by the Times, among others. Sterling tried to get B. Stavato to lie about the eternity of the recordings and tell investigators that she had alerted the audio of TMZ tape. Stavato was the person Sterling made the racist comments to on the tape, in which he voices unhappiness with her for posting online photos of herself with excuse my words here, with black people, including basketball great Magic Johnson. On April 9th, more than 2 weeks before it became public, the Clippers received a copy of the recording. Team president Andy Roser discussed it with Sterling, then instructed an employee to destroy the copy. Roser is currently on a definite leave of absence. Sterling and his wife, Shirley, were not extinguished, as she has said. Significant evidence exists in the public record, and otherwise that Mr. and Mrs. Sterling are not in any sense estranged. The report says, according to the Times, adding that they may exclusively and interim dispute their claims. The report details how the two attended most Clipper home games this season, were spotted together at the All-Star game, and spent 2 days together immediately after the controversial recording went public. According to the Times, the 80-year-old Sterling was shown the 30-page report and other evidence by the NBA on Monday. He did not respond to a request for comments by the newspaper. Also Monday, the NBA charged Sterling with damaging the league with his racist comments and set a hearing for June 3rd. Sterling has until Tuesday to respond to the charge, and he has the right to appear at the hearing and make a presentation in front of the Board of Governors. If Sterling does not respond by Tuesday, that will be grounds for termination as owner. He has asked for a 3-month delay in the hearing, sources told ESPN.com. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver said the timeline will not be extended. So now I'm kind of wondering here, today, how much time does this 80-year-old man need? How much time does he need, really? Because if I was the owner of the Clippers in Los Angeles, California, I would not be asking for time of delay. I would say, you know what? Go ahead and terminate me from the team. I said this and that. Go ahead, fire me as the owner of the team. That's what I would do. Just go ahead and fire him. This 80-year-old man here, folks, is acting like a 2-year-old kid who does not want to be losing his position as owner of the Los Angeles Clippers in Los Angeles, California. How much time does he need? The Sterlings don't need no time, but the Sterlings they need to decide by next Tuesday, which is going to be what, May 27th, year 2014. They got until that date to say, look, if you're going to terminate us, fine, terminate us, fire me, fire her, fire me. That's all you need to do. Sign it where it says, I agree to get terminated, what it says, I agree to get fired. That's simple. Just go ahead and do it, Donald. Don't cause any more problems of the situation for you and your wife. Just accept the termination consequences that you can no longer take over any NBA team franchise anymore in the NBA League or the National Basketball League. How about that? That's what you need to do, Donald. Just go ahead and accept the consequences, brother. Don't escape yourself from this consequence because you're not going to work with anyone in the NBA league. Now, the Board of Governors will be attending this meeting next Tuesday, May 27, year 2014. So that means they got until tomorrow, Thursday, to continue going over and over on this about him. Because to me, it seems this story is getting old with the startings. Now, one, he tried to destroy damaging evidence of recordings that he was recorded by his personal assistant, Miss Tabata. That clearly states that she was the accomplice of Donald Stern. Now, I'm not so sure what this 80-year-old man wants from the NBA league. But what we all want from him is to leave the organization, which means leave. Don't come back. We don't need you as the NBA owner of a franchise team in Los Angeles, California, because you seem to be a racist person. And we hate racist people. I hate them. I truly do. Time is 2:07. And of course, last night I watched Game 2 of the Miami Heat at Indiana Pacers last night on ESPN Network. And it very much surprised me that the Pacers lost at home last night. So that means this coming up Saturday is going to be Game 3 at 7:30 on ESPN Network and ESPN Denver 102.3, ESPN WEEI 93.7 FM, ESPN Chicago 1000, and ESPN Nueva York 98.7, which means 98.7. So, what needs to happen here? I think Miami Heat win Game 3 at home this coming up Saturday. I think so. I don't think the Pacers are going to come back in the series. I highly doubt it. But, I mean, Roy Hilbert's pretty good. Nishan Stevenson, Mahimi, these guys are pretty good. But you can't wonder about Luis Scola de Argentina from Argentina. He's pretty good also. So the question today here, Wednesday. Let's talk about LeBron James, King James. Okay. I keep asking myself this question. If the Miami Heat do make it to the NBA Finals versus Oklahoma City Thunder on ABC and ESPN Dallas 102.3 ESPN FM, and I would say to myself, LeBron James wants to go with the team where he can win another championship. So I'm kind of wondering here, do I got a lot of teams up my sleeves here today this off season, the NBA? I probably kind of do. I say, where were LeBron James? Where do you see LeBron James sitting here? Okay. Well, let's see. If he doesn't win a championship for the fourth time with Miami Heat, then that means he might go back to Cleveland. I'm not for sure if he will want to go back to go play for the Cleveland Cavaliers in Cleveland, Ohio. Or he want to reconsider going to the Chicago Bulls in Chicago, Illinois. Or will you consider him a great fit with the Dallas Mavericks here in Dallas, Texas? Or the Los Angeles, or the Clippers of Los Angeles, California. Maybe Boston. Because he wants to go where he can win championships. So I'm probably guessing come to Dallas. Why not have LeBron James come play here in Dallas? I think Dallas needs LeBron James. And if the Mavericks are going to go after, pursue Carmelo Anthony, Tyson Chandler, why not go ahead and re-sign back the Jason Terry? If you're going to sign Jason Terry, then you must as well go ahead and contact LeBron James during his offseason in the NBA. I don't think LeBron James wants to go play for Cleveland. He played for Cleveland a long time ago. He didn't win a championship up there. He won a championship with Miami, Florida last year, 2013. He did that. We all saw. Against the San Antonio Spurs in San Antonio, Texas. So clearly to me, I don't know where to see him fit. I know he's not going to go to the Lakers. He's not going to go to the Golden State Warriors, and I'm sure he's not going to go to New York or Brooklyn or Boston or Detroit or Philadelphia or the Charlotte, North Carolina Hornets, as we call it. Yes, that's right, folks. They're no longer going to be known as the Bobcats next season, 2015. No. They're going to be known as the Charlotte, North Carolina Hornets of Charlotte, North Carolina. So if you're going to bring back the Charlotte, North Carolina Hornets, that you might as well go ahead and bring back the Seattle Supersonics and Seattle Washington, right? Might as well. You're just going to use some good players from the NBA. And you're going to need a new owner, of course, also. So I'm pretty much wondering where do we go? So I don't know if LeBron James will make a great fit and the Charlotte Hornets of North Carolina. I don't know. I don't think he will. Or the Wizards. I mean, obviously, not going to win championships with the Wizards up there. Or the Kings. Or the Nuggets. Or the Grizzlies. Or the Timberwolves. He's still going to go play up there, guys. Or the Magic, for example. Or the Rockets. How about Oklahoma? Is Oklahoma seeing a great fit for LeBron James? I don't know. I don't know. We will see. We will see when LeBron James. But I've talked to a lot of people here today in Dallas, and they told me no, they don't think LeBron James is going to leave because Miami is very sneaky. They really do have a lot of tricks up their sleeves. How much you're going to offer LeBron James for next season if you want him to stay with you in Miami for 49? I'm really not so sure what's going to happen there during this offseason. The NBA will all watch out. So what has happened tonight for Oklahoma City Thunder is going to be a different question. The series right now is down 1-0. If they want to come back in this series, they got to win tonight. You got to have somebody from Oklahoma City Thunder putting points in the paint. Don't cause their turnovers in the paint. Because if you do that, then you very much are trusting out of Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, and Manu Ginobili, and Kawhi Leonard. So I'm pretty much wondering here, what's going to happen with the Spurs players of San Antonio, Texas? What's going to happen with them? Well, I think if Tim Duncan and Tony Parker don't win a NBA championship this season, then that means the two of them are ready to retire next year, 2015. And that's what's going to happen. Now, what surprises me is Minneapolis, Minnesota bid to get themselves a Super Bowl 52 in the month of what? 2018. Just a moment. But I clearly think LeBron James, Oklahoma needs to win tonight. Listen to Oklahoma and the San Antonio Spurs of San Antonio, Texas tonight on ESPN Denver 102.3, ESPN Chicago 1000, WEI ESPN Boston 3.7, and ESPN Dallas 102.3, ESPN FM, ESPN Nueva York 98.7, ESPN LA 710, ESPN Los Angeles 850, ESPN Cleveland 850. Man, so please listen to it. Tonight, 8 o'clock on TT, live from AT&T and San Antonio, Texas. I think I want to take Oklahoma City Thunder here because Oklahoma City Thunder is great. They got great players. They got Kevin Durant. They got Ibaka. They need Derek Fisher to put points in the paint tonight. They need to. They need somebody to protect them in the paint. Don't allow Ginobili to score you points in the paint, because if you allow them, you're very much just going to lose that first half of the game. And try not to commit too many fouls on each other tonight. Let's try to keep it less fouls, less technical fouls also. And the coach, Scotty Brooks, has got to keep an eye on them. All right, time is 2:15 here. Let's go to our next story here live on YouTube.com, shall we? While we do that, we'll give you one more update. On Major League Baseball, and that's what we'll start here in just a moment here. So here we go, one more time. Let's go ahead and update you here live for Major League Baseball in just a moment. All right, here we go. Top of the 8th inning, Tigers lead the Tribe 8-7. Top of the 4th in Arlington, Texas, tied 3-3 at 3-3. Rangers and Mariners still scoreless in Chicago, 0-0. Later on today at 3:05, Nationals taking on the Reds, 6 o'clock. Dodgers taking on Mets, 6:05. Orioles taking on the Pirates, 6:10. Red Sox taking on the Blue Jays, 6:10. Brewers taking on the Atlanta Braves, 6:10. Phillies taking on the Marlins, 6:10. Athletics taking on the Tampa Bay Rays, and 6:10 the White Sox taking on the Royals. So here we go live. Let's go ahead and go here to ESPN Dallas in just a moment. That's where we'll go. So 7:10, you got Royals and White Sox taking on each other. 3:05, you got the Reds taking on the Nationals. 6 o'clock on the ESPN Network. Dodgers taking on the Mets. 6:05, the Baltimore Orioles taking on the Pittsburgh Pirates. 6:10, Red Sox and Blue Jays. 6:10, Brewers and Braves. 6:10, Phillies and Marlins. 6:10, Athletics in Tampa Bay. Here we go in just a second here, folks. Okay. So here we go, the next one. 7:15, you got the Arizona Diamondbacks taking on the Cardinals. 7:40, San Francisco Giants taking on the Rockies. 8:10, Padres taking on the Twins. 9:05, Astros taking on the Halos. Live from where? From the Los Angeles, California. Presented by the Nissan Ride of Your Life. Get Nissan's lineup, Worth County. The 2014 Nissan Sentra. More, go to shopnissan.com. See North Texas Nissan dealer today. Let's see here. Now we got another story here in just a moment. I know a lot of you are probably wondering why it didn't happen. Okay. So, what is really going on back here in Dallas? I know a lot of you want to know that. I want to know too also. We'll get into it in just a moment here. So, here we go today. Posted early right now at 1:03 Central Time. I mean, at 2:03 Central Time, excuse me. Alright. For 3 quarters Tuesday night, Lance Stevenson was the best player on the floor in the game. They feature a handful of all-stars, including a couple of all-time greats on the other team. LeBron James, Dwayne Wade took over the fourth quarter, leading the Miami Heat to a comeback win over Stevenson's Indiana Pacers. But Stevenson, 25 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds performance was awfully impressive. It was the kind of performance that makes you wonder whether the Dallas Mavericks should reconsider their lack of interest in Stevenson as free agency approaches. There's a lot to like about the 6'5", 230-pound Stevenson. He's only 23 years old. His stud box scores averaging 13.8 points, 72 rebounds, 46 assists for the East top seed this season. And he's absolutely fearless. But the Mavs front office doesn't see Stevenson as the fit, practically since they probably have to offer a near max contract to prevent the luxury tax-fearing Pacers from matching it. Stevenson is not a restricted free agent, but there's no reason for him to leave Indiana if money is equal. Then again, the Mavs' interest in Montana Ellis was a lukewarm as best at this time last year. We all know how that worked out. But the big difference here is that Stevenson isn't desperate to escape his current situation and should have plenty of suitors in free agency. So why wouldn't the Mavs want Stevenson? Well, we only flip it to the calendar back a few weeks to find a time when Stevenson was being heavily blamed for the Pacers' dismiss. His behavior could be often to be politically described as erratic. He's been accused of being selfish. Okay, at that point. The Mavs have concerns about Stevenson's will fit into their culture. A strong agreement could be made that he benefit from being around a bunch of veterans, but the atmosphere couldn't keep Josh Howard, Lamar Odom, Dante West from going south in recent seasons. It's a risk the Mavs would rather not take for a player who would make an 8-figure salary and not have a perfect position fit. That leads to the basketball-specific concerns. How would Stevenson fit in the Mavs lineup? If he's a small forward, who give up at least a couple of inches in height in every matchup. The Mavs don't want to break up their starting backcourt of Jose Calderon and Ellis. My suggestion is to make Ellis a jet-like sixth man. But they seem to take my advice, but they never seem to take my advice seriously. Okay, we all get that. While Stevenson ranks among the league leaders in assists by wing players, he attempts to be a ball stopper dribbling at the shot clock as the shot clock ticks down. Could he fit in the Mavs flow offense? Could he be a compatible with Ellis, another driver who needs the ball in his hands a lot to be at his best? All indications are that the Mavs aren't willing to make a major investment in Stevenson to find out the answers to all the questions and concerns. Well, to me, he is, I don't know. For one, it's very much obvious. Two, it don't seem like to me like he's the right person. But will I really give it their best shot? I don't know. To me, I think it's obvious you want somebody in this team, but how much you're going to offer them is the question. I'm not so sure how much you're going to offer them. So it's a maybe probable problem. Maybe I'm not so sure, but to me this sounds in obviously problem. So it's obviously not the right thing. We will find out on this Mavs situation, and we'll keep you updated with much more. We're continuing this weekend to the Colonial in Fort Worth, Texas, this weekend on CBS and of course the God Channel SO. Very much appreciate every single one of you here today, Wednesday, right here on YouTube.com. Time is 2:24 here, 2:24, and obviously, learning more. So let's see here in this area, right? Let's go here to ESPN Boston .com in just a moment. All right, let's go back here. Boston, Massachusetts. Investigators ask for help from tattoo artists who may have inked former New England Patriots tight end Aaron Hernandez, saying they could help in the prosecution of a double murder Hernandez is charged with committing in 2012. The South Fork District Attorney's Office stressed that the tattoo artists are considered witnesses, not suspects, and may have observations of invalidating bad. Hernandez is charged in 3 killings, and he is scheduled to be arraigned on May 28th on 2 accounts of murder for allegedly shooting 2 men in Boston in 2012. Prosecutors said Wednesday. Authorities have not said if there's any connection between these 2 slangings in 2013 shooting death of Olden Lloyd, a semi-pro football player whose body was found in an industrial area near Hernandez's home in North Altusburg, Massachusetts. Lloyd was dating Hernandez's fiance's sister. Hernandez's lawyers have said their client looks forward to his day in court, and he's being held without bail. Authorities say they hope to speak with the artist or artists who did specific tattoos on Hernandez's right forearm between February 2012 June 2013. They didn't describe which of his tattoos they are referring to. Both of Hernandez's arms are covered with tattoos, and both photographs of his right forearm show ink stars, words, and other designs. We are internationally limiting our statements so as not to interference with any potential observations by tattoo artists, said Jake Work, a spokesman for South Fork District Attorney Dan Clooney, who went unvarnished and unearthed information. Authorities specifically mention several places in their quest for tattoo artists: Hermosa Beach, California; Bristol, Connecticut; Palm Beach, and Miami, Florida; Massachusetts, and Rhode Island. They stressed, however, they are going to open to speaking with anyone anywhere who did tattoo work on Hernandez during the time period. Hernandez, 24 years old, has been indicted on 2 accounts of first-degree murder and other offenses in the July 2012 killings of Daniel de Abreu and Zaffarano Fortundo in Boston. A third man was wounded in that attack, while 2 others escaped unharmed. Hernandez is an associate has encountered in a city nightclub where the victims before the shooting, prosecutors said. After the men left, Hernandez followed an SUV and pulled up alongside the men as their vehicle was stopped at a red light and opened fire, Clooney said. Well, obviously they want to speak to every person in the NFL. I think that's the tattoo artist who did work on this guy. I think it's obviously. Here we go. Top of the 9th inning. Now, Detroit Tigers lead the Cleveland Indians 9-7. We'll keep you updated on that game in just a moment. So here we go in the NFL here. And we got some more stories to talk about here in just a moment. And very much stand out every single one of them as we speak. So here we go in just a moment here. Right. So let's see here. We can find a story here on this of how do you dispute not having those great people. So obviously, if one of them stand to the point how they much figure out, then yes, of course, you stand every single one of them, obviously, but it's been obvious, you know. But if they want to talk to the tattoo artist, fine, I think that's the best thing to do. Okay, so here we go with the next one here. Robert Mathis. Mathis, of course, former Colt player. Well, still Colt player, actually. So here we go in just a moment. Okay. Here we go. Indianapolis Colts linebacker Robert Mathis said if he could not do it over again, he would have checked before taking a substance banned by the NFL. But he knows he can redo the situation. That's why he accepted his 4-game suspension for violating the league's drug policy. It's been a long process, Mathis said at the team's facility Wednesday. It's kind of a brand, its course, and all I can do is accept it. The suspension has taken several twists and turns since it was announced by the NFL on May 16th. The pass rush specialist used the drug called MID, CLO-MID, which is prescribed by the league, with the sole purpose of helping him and his wife have a baby. Mattis claims he relied on a urologist's advice on taking the drug. Stephen Mortensen, the urologist who prescribed the drug, told ESPN earlier this week that Mattis took the drug only for facility purposes. Mortensen also said he didn't know Mattis was an NFL player. The first principle of our joint drug program with Players Association is you're responsible for what's in your body. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell said at the League's owners' meetings Tuesday in Atlanta, Georgia. There are several avenues for you to contact people in advance to determine whether you should or not take a particular drug. And we have a process set up. Mattis leads the league in sacks last season with 9.5, met with his teammates recently and told them, sorry, I'll be back, and I'll be back. He is allowed to participate in all the off-season workouts as well as in preseason practices and games. While suspended, he'll miss the Colts' first 4 regular season games and is eligible to return the day after September 28th against the Tennessee Titans. Even more motivation, Mattis said, I know how hard the team works, and I know how hard I work personally. Being motivated is not an issue. I just can't wait to get back. It's been a long process, and it's kind of a random course. All I can do is accept it. Well, I'm guessing he's trying to become a family man who doesn't. But was this the right point to it? I'm not sure. I'm not really sure at all at the moment, because to me it may seem kind of an odd problem here with this issue, and you're pretty much figuring it out. So here we go with the next one here. This one is kind of an odd story now. So, excuse me. So I'm pretty much wondering, this is the type of person who very much, gets the idea and certainly does. I mean, to me, I get the point here, and I understand what's right and what's wrong. But honestly, it's the right thing to do. If it feels like you just go ahead and get, suspended, then go ahead and suspend it. But give it probably a solution to it. It's just the right time or place, to figure it out what needs to be done, I guess. And obviously, standing on, forward, I very much think that's the right thing to do. So here is regular season for the Falcons. They open up September 7th against the Saints, and they travel the week 2 to play at Cincinnati. Then they play on September 18th, week 3 against the Buccaneers on CBS 11, and they open on Fox. Giants, Bears, Baltimore, Lions, an early game, of course, on that date. And then they play at Tampa, Carolina, taking on Cleveland, taking on the Cardinals, then playing on that Monday night at Green Bay, they take on the Steelers, and then take on the Saints again. And the last game they play last game against the one and only Charlotte, North Carolina Panthers, which are still to be known. So here we go with this next story here in just a moment. We'll tell you about the story here. I just want to step into one of the best players in the NFL. Charleston, South Carolina. Deputies say they have charged a man with the murder and the shooting of the brother of Atlanta Falcons wide receiver Rudy White outside a South Carolina nightclub. Charleston County Chief Deputy Mitch Lucas says 23-year-old Darnell Leppett was arrested Tuesday Lucas says deputies are still trying to figure out exactly what led to the shooting, but it appears Lafayette got into an argument with the 21-year-old Tyrone Moore Jr. on a Saturday morning outside the Lake House Club south of Charleston. Investigators said Lafayette walked up to Moore and fired 3 times, with the tube of the bullets striking the victim. Lafayette's in jail, and it was unknown if he has a lawyer. The Falcons wide receiver Rudy White, this was his 21-year-old brother, Tyrone Moore Jr. And this moron here, 23-year-old Donnell Lafayette, they were at this place called Lighthouse Club south of Charleston. This is a very, very idle part. We're not so sure if this guy has even a lawyer. We'll keep you updated on that story throughout the entire day here live on YouTube.com. Time is 2:37. Let's go to our next news story there, shall we? We got a lot to talk about here, really, Dallas. Let's go to this next one here. This happens here in Dallas, of course. And as we go there, we'll talk about this story here. Now, temperature outside in Dallas, 85 degrees, and mostly cloudy skies. Not bad. Not bad at all here in Dallas. Not bad at all. Here we go in just a moment here. All right, Dallas, Texas. Police arrested a 32-year-old man after he allegedly lured a 13-year-old teen to run away from her home and work as a prostitute, read an arrest warrant. According to the warrant, the victim told police she met Ledren Franklin, known as Bloodshot, on a social media site called MicroSpace. The teen told police that she talked with Franklin for a month before he convinced her to leave her home and work for him as a prostitute. From February 2nd to May 1st, the teen lived at various motels paid by Franklin, who served her as her pimp, read the warrant. The teen was discovered after an undercover detective found an advertisement on Backpage.com soliciting sexy, inclement skills. The detective called the number listed on the advertisement and agreed to meet the woman who answered the call at a motel at the 1800 block of Stevens Freeway. At the 8100 block of North Stevens Freeway. According to the warrant, the detective requested the girls whose picture was used in the ad. The young victim was sent to the motel room. The teen and another woman admitted to working for Franklin, who was charged with child trafficking, detective said. MicroSpace is a social media site in which people can play games and chat with others. This site has made news across the country several times as a place, where sexual predators target young victims. Earlier in the month, a man and woman were arrested in Fort Lauderdale on human trafficking charges, according to police records. An undercover officer posted as a teen and conversed with Devin Kenyon, 21 years old, and Camille Clark, 19 years old. The two were arrested after allegedly offering to serve as pimps for the person they believe was a teen girl. So obviously, folks, please be careful with this website called MicroSpace. Stay away from this website. This we know they play games and everything there, but I think I will stay away from this place because this website is all over the country as we speak. All right, let's go to our national news here real quick. And it's a beautiful day in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, as we see now. As we see, it's mostly cloudy skies out there. It's not too bad at all. And obviously, it's the best thing to do, huh? It's the very best to figure it out. Okay. Now, this one here is an odd, weird story. First, we're going to start with another story here. This is in Maine, Massachusetts. Wow. Uh, this one here surprises me, obviously, as well. Oh, back. Not actually. I'll continue talking here in a moment. Shawinigan, Maine, Massachusetts. A Maine girl who was 10 when she was charged. A Maine girl who was 10 when she was charged with causing the death of a baby in her mother's care has pleaded guilty to several misdemeanors under agreement that dropped a manslaughter charge. A judge accepted the plea deal Wednesday, and now the 12-year-old Fairfield girl pleaded guilty during a closed-door proceeding. The Associated Press generally doesn't identify juveniles accused of crimes. The girl was charged in 2012 the death of a 2-year-old Brooklyn Foss Greenway. Deputy Attorney General William Stokes says the agreement includes a treatment plan that will be placed at least until the girl turns 18. She remains in state care. Clear what misdemeanors the girl pleaded to under state law. Misdemeanor charges a juvenile against them aren't made public. Apparently, I don't know why she dropped that baby. I'm not so sure what made it happen, but this is an odd story. It really. If you ever go with the next story here in just a moment here, time 2:43, as we continue here on YouTube.com. Very much appreciate everyone here joining me today live on YouTube.com. Very much. Thank you very much for joining. To me, this is a very odd one. I don't know what made her drop that baby. Was it because she was on something? I don't know. This girl was 10 years old. A 10-year-old girl doesn't even know how to deal with the baby. It's surprising. No, it really is surprising. It really is. I'm confused about it right now at the moment because I don't even know where to find the right words for this case. It really is. It really is. We'll go into this a minute here. Okay. Okay. Here we go. We'll go to this one here, then we'll continue on forward. Oak Brook, Illinois. Several protesters were being arrested outside McDonald's headquarters on Wednesday as hundreds demonstrated in a bid to call attention to low pay earned by fast food workers. The demonstration comes ahead of the fast food chain's annual shareholders meeting Thursday, where it's also expected to be confronted on issues including executive pay packages and marketing to children and minority communities. Early Wednesday, organizers changed the location of their demonstration after learning that McDonald's closed the building where they had planned their actions. The corporate headquarters in Oak Brook, Illinois has several buildings on a sprawling campus. Down the street from Hamburger University, police officers warned protesters that they would be arrested if they didn't despise, and several arrests were made soon after. This is very crazy. I think at the moment this really needs to stop, as I say, and hopefully it continues to stop as we speak. Well, thank you for joining me here live on YouTube.com. Very much appreciate every single one of you. I'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow live here on YouTube.com. Thank you very much. See you then.